What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. So here we are again. This is breaking news. Apparently, there was a mass shooting at an elementary school in Texas, and as I went to look that up, because I was scrolling something and it said breaking news, but you see that all the time. And then I always look to see, well, when was it? But it was live. So as I went to look that up, I ran into this. So we're going to find out what this is after we look at this Texas thing. This is Andrew Abdullah. That apparently there was a subway shooting on Sunday in New York. That's what I think I understand. Um, but I wanted to do this right now because I, as always, want my reaction to be in real time. My thoughts, everything needs to be in real time. Um, I've already, before I do anything, I want to say this because I've already suggested to you in my last piece that what I'm suspecting is one of the why of it all for the Frank James subway shooting that took place, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, whenever it was, the other weekend, or whatever day it was. Couldn't come up with the why of it all, but I said to you that I believe that was completely a staged event. You know, I think they said 100,000 cameras or something like that. Either 10 or 100,000, either 100,000 or 10,000 cameras that make up the New York subway system. But yet, of all of those, just the three ones that would have caught that entire crime were the only ones that weren't working. Like, show me a leprechaun and a unicorn. You feel me? If you believe that. But I suggest that the why of it all was answered with the Buffalo, New York shooting at Tops. And interesting that all these are coming out of New York, you know, um, except for this, I guess, this one that's happening now in Texas. But I suggest that the New York one with the Frank James dude was a staged event for probably something political that was going on in New York. Also, a national distraction as well. And number three, and most importantly, was to prepare us for the shooting at the Tops supermarket in Buffalo. Because it just so happens that this Frank James dude was a black dude that allegedly did this shooting in the subway in New York. And then the very next one is a white demon shooting up an all black patronized supermarket. Nothing is a coincidence with these white devils. All they do is plan evil. As I sit here, they're planning. So that's my own hypothesis of at least one of the whys of it all for the New York subway shooting, the other one with the Frank James dude. Apparently, this Andrew Abdullah is something different and new. But we want to now get into this Texas because we want to find out the what of it all. I only put in my search, and then now we will see what we want to read. This was 4 minutes ago, 21 minutes, 46 minutes, 13 minutes, 4 minutes. 14 students murdered and one teacher dead in elementary school shooting. Just a second. 14 students killed, one teacher dead Why they just had 15 people killed, including a teacher. So that's a problem. But alas, they say 14 students killed, one teacher dead in elementary school shooting, Texas. So this one's 4 minutes ago. We'll start with that because that's going to be the most up-to-date uh, information. This is from Eyewitness News 13. Let's see. The suspect was identified as 18-year-old Salvador Ramos. That's going to be very important to all of this right now. Because I just already said before we read anything or saw anything, that they gave us the black shooter in the first, the staged subway shooting with Frank James. Then they give you this white devil in Buffalo at the supermarket. And now we're seeing Ramos as the last name in Texas, no less. And first name Salvador. Salvador Ramos. So this could still be a white devil because even on the news you see people with full Spanish names and it's clearly a white person sitting there. You know. So I guess that's your white Latino, quote unquote. But if it's not, oh, well, there's this picture. Haha, you see? So this is an attempt because, again, white people don't like to ever admit that they are the doers of evil on the earth. Anybody else doing evil is either responding to their evil or emulating it. But it begins with them. And so I'm suggesting right now, I'm making the claim right out the gate before we read anything or know anything, that this is now so they can say it's not just white people. Because yesterday I saw a video from the Young Turks where they were discussing the mass shooting in the supermarket in Buffalo. And the Anna Kapsarian Zionist chick that sits up there with Jink, the atheist, at one point she was saying, but they're always framing this in left and right. So, left wing and right wing, liberal and conservative and shit. We just classify it as white, because white evil doesn't come in left and right. It just comes in white. That's it. That's it. But she was saying when she was speaking, she was I'm not, do I want to say that violence is or yeah, did you say violence or like she said violence and hatred, whatever. Is it cultural? She goes, I think that's sweeping too broadly. And then she went on. And then later, when Jink started his statement, he even asked the same question. He goes, no, I think that sweeps too broadly. No, it doesn't sweep too broadly. Because when we see a pit bull, we say, that's a dangerous breed right there. That's a dangerous breed. Even if you've known a neighbor and all the 15 years you live next door to them, they have a pit bull that never bit anybody. Is the nicest little dog. You go, it's a pit bull. They're very dangerous. We still keep that classification. King cobra snake. You know those are dangerous. Those are dangerous. That's a king cobra. Oh wow. Yeah, don't go near it. You see. And there's nothing that's changing me from having that same exact reaction to white people in this society. Period. Nothing's changing me on that. Nothing is changing me on that. And another tactic that they use is they'll have white reporters. It used to be that when something heinous happened to black people, they were very careful to just have black people reporting on it. But somewhere along the way, they decided it would be more advantageous to their overall agenda to have white people reporting on it, so it fucks up the black mind. You're seeing white evil against your people while a white person is telling you about it very benevolently. Let us not fall for this trap. They are one and the same. One and the same. One and the same. And it'll be easier for you to understand that concept once you begin to understand that you are a different species of human being than them, if they are human. And stop buying into this we're all the same bullshit, because we're not. So says the divine, the creator of existence, the owner of existence. We are not the same. We are not. And if they are human, at the very least, they are a different species of human being than us. And one of their many hateful or their negative characteristics is that they are savage. They are savages. They are terrorists. They're a plague upon humanity. Wherever they go, there are problems. Wherever they go, look at any society historically and currently that has been touched by them and ones that haven't. And you see two clearly distinct and vastly different pictures. Wherever they go, there are problems. Everything that they've gotten through terrorism, murder, theft, even this country. And because of the information age, they have to admit now that, okay, Columbus didn't discover America. Damn it, there was already people here that didn't look a damn thing like our white ass. Damn it. Urgh, that truth. But let me stay on my point to say that this is now, again, kangarooing off of what I just told you about the Young Turks with the anti-Zionist and the Jink atheist dude. So their evil is too it's glowing too brightly now. So now let's have something in Texas so we can have a Spanish name on it, because it would be too suspect to have the Frank James thing, Subway, then have White Devil shoot up tops in Buffalo, then have this Andrew Abdullah, who we're going to find out about, and then have another black shooter. You want to tell me that this is a black shooter shooting up a white school, and I'm going to see real evidence of that? I'm happy to hear it. But at this point, we don't know if this is another staged event. We don't know yet. We don't know. We don't know. This could be another Sandy Hook, you see. And what we're going to be looking for as we unfold this together now, what time is it? It is 2:30 California time. So what we're going to be looking for is, we want to know now, what area of Texas is this? Who were the victims and who was the shooter? Because I tell you, everything is about race for white people. That's why there's even such thing as race and racism, is because of them. Don't ever let one of them feed you the vomit of, it's not about race. Hear this. This is the truth, just as if it came down in the tablets that Moses was given. Everything is about race for white people. And I've challenged any of my people, be around any of them that you don't know. Just go and insert yourself around them. Strike up a conversation with them at Starbucks. Talk to them in the line at Walmart. It doesn't matter. Stay around for any length of time, and 100% guaranteed they will be the first one to bring up race in some form. Either they have to mention they have a black friend, or they don't hate black people, or they have a black parent. They're mixed. They're an immigrant. Some of these Zionists will try and play the Jew card on you. Then we're back to Whoopi Goldberg again. So there's that, but whatever. But what I'm seeing now already is all of this running, soldiers running, like police running. Uh, we have to watch what's in front of us because there's a lot of running and walking, but I don't see any ambulances. I haven't. I wasn't looking at the screen while I was talking to you, but uh, I don't see any ambulances. I don't see any. I only see official looking people. I put official in quotations. Agents of the state is probably a better description. State troopers says here on the back of this. I don't see ambulances. I don't see stretchers. I don't see paramedic and fire. I don't see victims. I just see lights and people from who are agents of the state. We're going to read now to bring us up to speed. The suspect was identified 18-year-old Salvador Ramos. And isn't it just interesting and convenient that Salvador is the same age as the white demon that shot up our people in Buffalo? Just, it's a coincidence, though. It's a coincidence, everybody. It's a coincidence. It is. I'm telling you, it is. Mark Osborne and Meredith Delcio are the people telling us this. Uvalde, Texas. 14 students and a teacher are dead. That's their affirmative statement. 14 students and a teacher are dead. That's what they're saying to us. After a shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, according to Governor Greg Abbott. The suspect was today. Today is Tuesday. What day? Today is Tuesday, the 24th of May. 4 and 2 is 6, January, February, March, April, May. 6 and 5 is 11. The suspect was identified. And by the way, this is just unfolding, and we already have the suspect. Was identified as 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, a student at Uvalde High School. He is also dead, Abbott said. So this is the dead men don't talk, because Frank James was taken into custody. Shockingly, that was the first anomaly of that before I even knew it was a staged event. That was the first signal that the shooter was black and he was taken into custody. Then this bastard child was taken into custody at the Buffalo supermarket. Let's break from this now because I can't wait to know it. We want to know now if this Andrew Abdullah, if he is dead or alive. Andrew Abdullah, 25 years old, previously arrested more than a dozen times. So what? He's a black man in America. This detail means nothing, everybody. You understand? Because I can also show you a video right now of a dude who worked at a convenience store, and I think it might have been New York. He worked there, and every day the police would come in and arrest him. They knew he worked there. They were doing this on purpose. We pray they are in a cold grave now. Do you understand? Or suffering with some very violent illness. But so this previously arrested a dozen times means nothing. You see, and they're splashing that up there immediately. But in the case of the bastard that shot up the Buffalo supermarket, how long did it take us to know anything about him? You see, One Nation Under Fire. You see that? One Nation Under Fire. Nah. This should say white people losing their fucking mind and going crazy. That's what it should say. But this is now to change the narrative psychologically for you, giving you a black face as if, well, we're just all under attack. That's what this is all about. Well, we're just all under attack. Everybody's in danger when the only perpetrators are white people. That's it. And I'm sure when we get into this Abdullah case, I will be able to find the anomalies that will exist there. But what did I say? I wanted to know, was he alive or dead? Suspect identified in fatal New York subway, blah, blah, blah. Damn it. We don't know if he's alive or dead. All right. We got to know this. Andrew Abdullah. Hold up. News about subway shooting in New York City. Man wanted in random subway killing in custody. Lawyers blast ambush outside. We're going to come to that. So he's allowed to live. So that's 2 black subway shooters, both taken into custody, we're to believe. I can't wait to come to that. Because I'm making a proclamation that this is some bullshit right out the gate. Now we just go about proving that. So he was a student at the high school. He is also dead. He shot and murdered and killed. Why can't you? Well, obviously he shot. So he murdered horrifically and incomprehensively 14 students and killed a teacher, Abbott said during an unrelated press briefing. Well, what else would he have been briefing about? So that means you just said that to get that on the record, but you were actually there to talk about cupcakes or something. But oh, by the way, and then they said, because he said during an unrelated press briefing. Unrelated. Their language, not mine. The suspect also allegedly why are we suspecting and alleging? Did it happen or not? You see. Anyways, also allegedly shot his grandmother before entering the school and again opening fire. This Abbott person said. He did not say anything further about her condition. Abbott said the shooter had a handgun and also possibly a rifle. You don't know? When did this happen? I guess they're going to tell us. Look, emergency personnel gather near the school following a shooting, but he's standing there with his hands folded, this guy. You fold your arms when there's not shit to do. And nobody's on the gurney. This is just a dramatic picture. Drama. Quick, give me your purse. Quick, take your clothes off. Drama. Uvalde Memorial Hospital said 15 students were being treated in the hospital's emergency department in the wake of the incident. Okay. Who told you that at the hospital? Because it's not a quotation. Just the hospital said 15 students were being treated in the hospital emergency department in the wake of the incident, period. 2 patients were transferred to San Antonio for treatment, while a third was pending transfer, the hospital said. Again, no quotations. A 45-year-old was also hospitalized after getting grazed by a bullet, the hospital said. So we got a 45-year-old, we got 15 people being treated. So is this in addition to the 15 that were murdered? So if so, that's what, 31 people? So we should have some family member, somebody somewhere crying on camera, somebody giving a firsthand account, somebody with a firsthand story, somebody doing something. So far, all we've seen is images of official people of the state and heard from the governor of this state and the press. Just so we're clear about where we're at, right, at this far in. All right, let us move on. University Health in San Antonio said it had 2 patients from the school incident, a child and an adult. The hospital said the adult, a 66-year-old woman, so now we got another kid and an adult, a 66-year-old woman, is in critical condition. It did not have an update yet on the condition of the child. Bystander Isaiah Melendez says he witnessed students evacuating a school at Robb Elementary School. Well, he may have seen that, but was that a fire drill? Saw kids evacuating. Evacuating is a different word than saw kids running or scrambling. Evacuating is a very different, and that's him telling it, but where are the children in this photo? And everybody has their back to us. These are clearly all adults. So they've not given us anything to make their case just yet. All right. And according to Isaiah, he saw students evacuating. Let us be very clear. Language is important, everybody. And remember, there's a writer, an editor, and a publisher. So this didn't just get on the page by accident and randomly. These words were chosen and approved. The Children's Hospital of San Antonio said it has also received patients, plural, from the shooting. So now we're up to an untold number. Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin did not confirm casualties, comma. This is the mayor. So they've been giving us sightings of victims from at least 3 hospitals and the governor. And now we get down to the mayor, and he did not confirm the casualties, the mayor. But, comma, but told ABC News in a text message that, quote, our first quotation, this is a very bad situation, end quote. He said the office is trying to contact parents before releasing any information. Resource for victims don't need it. All right. Earlier, comma, the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District had said a shooter was located in Robb Elementary School and asked people to stay away from the area. Hear that now. The school district said the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District had said. Again, we always want to know who is telling us as you go through the information. This is how you keep track of the story as it's being told to you. Do you understand? So this Consolidated Independent School District has said that a shooter was located at the elementary school and asked, not told or demanded or recommended, but asked during a shooter, you're asked to wear a black tie. You're asked to please bring your own, you know, champagne or some shit. You're asked to stay away. Ask people to stay away from the area. Because when you keep people back, you can stage things, you see. Because during 9/11, you had a lot of police that were down there, downtown Manhattan, telling people to get back, getting you out of the area, get out of the area. You see, once they get you out of the area and down the street and around the corner, you see, then you don't know really what's going on. Quote, this is an active shooter, or there is an active shooter at Robb Elementary, end quote, the school district said on Twitter, period. Quote, this is this consolidated elementary school, independent school district. We don't have a name, just a school district. Quote, law enforcement is on site, quote, I think that was the end of the quote, on Twitter. All right, well, I guess this is a quote. Quote, law enforcement is on site. Your cooperation is needed at this time by not visiting the campus. As soon as more information is gathered, it will be shared. That's all fine. But why didn't you mention that police and fire and paramedic were on the scene or en route to the scene? No mention, no images of paramedic and fire thus far, and no victims, and no children. We'll just read on. I guess this is what they put on Twitter. We just read that. All right, a school official a school official initially told ABC News that the shooting took place off campus. A school official initially told ABC News that the shooting took place off campus, and that Robb Elementary was under lockdown. Who's this official? Because that's two vastly different scenes being described. How would you make that mistake? Because if it's outside of the school, then it's not going to be, I think we're probably up to at least 35 people now. You would kind of notice that, whether it was off campus or in the Himalayas. It doesn't matter. That's a vastly different statement than it's in the school. But they say a school official initially told ABC News, but they don't quote who it is, that the shooting took place off campus, and that the school was under lockdown. Okay, period. The school informed parents shortly after 2 p.m., that's going to be Texas time, after 2 p.m. local time, that students had been transported to the St. Willie de Leon Civic Center, the reunification site, and could be picked up. So, just a second. The mayor didn't know anything because they want to notify parents, is what we were told. He said the office is trying to contact parents before releasing any information. That's the mayor, McLaughlin. Now, down here it says at 2 p.m. they were calling parents. The school informed parents shortly after 2 p.m. local time the students had been transported to this civic center and could be picked up. So what time was the shooting, though? They've not told us that. What time? Uvalde, Texas is located about 90 minutes west of San Antonio. 90 minutes. That's an hour and a half. So why were people taken to the hospital in San Antonio? Because didn't they just tell us earlier that people were taken to the hospital in San Antonio? Or was the Ramos dude from San Antonio? Ramos, Uvalde, San Antonio. 2 patients were transferred to San Antonio, so an hour and a half for treatment. And then University Health in San Antonio said it had 2 patients from the incident. So that these two line up. 2 patients were transferred to San Antonio, and then allegedly the University Hospital in San Antonio said that they had 2 patients. Okay. That's the only thing that's lined up. That means nothing. But I'm just trying to say, it's still an hour and a half away. There's no hospital any closer than that. So, anyways, about 90 minutes west of San Antonio. We're going to come back and look at some of this. U.S. saw 312 gun violence incidents weekend of Buffalo shooting. You see, they're trying to make it seem like take all the heat off of white savagery. You see, that's what this is all about, everybody. And they give it to you on a Tuesday. Just go back and look at history of things that happened on a Tuesday. You understand? Even 9/11 was on a Tuesday. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office and San Antonio Police are sending aid, and FBI, and the FBI is responding. Okay, for what? What are you sending aid for? What aid? Why? You said that the shooter is dead, the victims are at hospitals, so why is Bexar County Sheriff's Sheriff's Office and San Antonio Police sending aid? What aid? Sandwiches, water, what? What's going on? And the FBI is responding. They've told us what time this should happen. The Houston, so we don't have anybody telling us at such and such time, somebody said this is what happened. They've not told us that yet. The Houston Field Division of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives also said it is assisting in the investigation. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas has been briefed on the situation, and the agency, quote, is actively coordinating with federal, state, local partners, end quote, a spokesman said. So we couldn't hear from Alejandro. We had to hear from a spokesman who they don't name. Customs and Border Protection officials are in the area also responding to the scene. Customs and Border Protection officials. Let's blame the immigrants now, too. That's where it seems to be leading, you see. All right, let's see if there is a news report. Yeah, I don't need this now. I need a report. I don't need the live goings on right now because they are of no value to us. But what happens in a lot of these cases, everybody, is they give you these aerial shots. They'll be on live, but you just hear people feeding you your thoughts and information. let's bring so-and-so in here now. And they're talking as you're watching the pictures. You see, you have to be very careful of that. I was telling you, you got to stand at your gate. You got to be the captain of your fucking vessel. This is one of the other tactics of white evil. So I ignore their ass. And I look and see, what am I seeing? And what I've shown thus far in this article, at the very least, is we saw no fire and rescue or paramedic. We saw nobody being interviewed. We have no witness. We don't have anything but just somebody saying something happened. That's like I tell you, I farted at 8 o'clock this morning. I've got no evidence. I got nothing. You see, that's an armed something. I just saw the side of it. It's an armored something. That's not an ambulance. Again, people just standing around. I don't see any movement. Just people standing around and being seen. Worried look reporters. You know, we need a report. We need some kind of a flash report or something on this. Let's see what we can find. We need another article as well, because this just didn't say it at all. All right, let me refresh this page and see. Let's just go with a let's go with we'll go with a major mainstream liar first. Usually I go in reverse, but we need a story. What is the story? What is the story? And if it's like that, what we just read, that's not going to be satisfactory at all. It's CNN. Let's see, as my grandma used to say, let's see, what lie are they telling? Which lies they telling? Which one? You know. Deadly shooting at Texas Elementary School. What we know so far. Multiple people died after a shooting, blah, 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 but the details remain unclear. Opening bullet. The very thing I'm looking for is what they tell me, but the details remain unclear. So, just something happened. Run for your life. Well, for why? Well, we don't know yet. Just run for your life. Meanwhile, blah, blah, blah. The suspect is dead, blah, blah, and blah. Get this out of my face. Will address nation from White House tonight on school shooting at fuck Biden's bitch ass. So we have no story then. This is about Biden. I don't need to know that. Valdez shooter is dead and acted alone. School police chief. So they've told us they had everything from the ATF, the bomb squad, the FBI, multiple police agencies. It's all there. Homeland Security. And now we find out, this is from 7 minutes ago, says here, that he acted alone. School police chief says. School police. That's kind of a mall cop. Just an elevated mall cop. And a lard ass, too. Again, you don't need to be athletic to be a police officer, everybody, because you just simply murder people. You don't need to be in shape. You don't need to. You just don't need to. This is Pete Arredondo, the chief of police for the Consolidated Independent School District. Speaks during a press conference. Well, let us see the press conference. Like, I need something, dude. This is just all hearsay right now. I got nothing. We'll just read. The shooter in Tuesday fatal elementary school shooting did not have any help. The district's top security officer said. See, he's just a mall cop. That's all he is. That's all any of them are, quite frankly. Quote, at this point, the investigation is leading to is leading to tell us that the suspect did act alone during his heinous crime, said Arredondo, the chief, the fat lard ass. All right. He confirmed the suspect is dead. He did not provide further details or casualties in the shooting. You see? So, again, are they Sandy hooking us again? Because I didn't see one fucking Sandy Hook victim. Not one. Not one. Not one. This is nothing. Governor Texas across, this is 34 minutes ago. Texans across the state are grieving for victims of this senseless crime. Who are the victims? Who's grieving? Who? They still haven't told us when. We don't even know when it happened. This is deliberately vague. So far, we have 2 news publications. You want to tell me that none of these reporters asked, when did this happen? Nobody has asked that? Homeland Security, U.S. Customs, and the bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. Will continue to provide department full support. Nobody cares. Calls elementary school shooting horrific tragedy. Well, where is it? Where is it? What happened is a horrific tragedy. I don't want to hear all this drama. I want details. I want details. They could tell us how far, everybody's told us how far San Antonio is away from this place and all the victims, where they went, but nobody's telling us when it happened, or anything like that. When did it happen? When, damn it, when? And where's any photos or aerial shots of any kids that were waiting around to be picked up, or just anything? Texas School District cancels events after school program after shooting. Let's see. Abandon his vehicle. Okay, wait. Elementary school is an 18-year-old. Elementary school is 18 from Vivaldi. Quote, it is believed that he abandoned his vehicle and entered the elementary with a handgun, and he may also have had a rifle, but this is not confirmed. Well, why not? Why isn't it confirmed? Because you've got victims, allegedly, so we should know if they have gunshot wounds or handgun wounds. You understand? I mean, that would be known already. The suspect was a student at the high school, but this was an elementary school, and is a citizen, you see, and is a U.S. citizen. Why did you have to say that? That's racist? Because this is written by white devils, and he's a white devil that's saying it. So why'd you have to mention that he's a U.S. citizen? Because you never told us that this white devil that shot up the Tops Market in Buffalo, whether he was a citizen or not. It never came up. Or the Frank James dude, and I'm sure it will be the same thing with Abdullah. Texas Governor Abbott, 15 dead in elementary school. Well, okay, fine. Blah, 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 blah. 14, blah. School district council events. Nobody cares. School, all district campus activities. So what? Woman in critical condition after elementary school. Okay, who? The University Hospital in San Antonio received 2 patients from the shooting. The hospital said in a tweet, we have received 2 patients from the shooting at the school, 1 child and 1 adult. They are currently being elevated or evaluated. So we don't have a condition to release at this time. Okay. but you're not even citing who told you this from the hospital. The hospital probably ain't told you a fucking thing. You understand? Um, and is probably in on it. A later tweet updated that the 60-year-old woman is in critical condition. They did not have an update on the condition of the child. Earlier, the hospital said they received 13 children, blah, blah, blah. All right, ATF assisting. Nobody cares. Okay, nobody's told us what time this happened, though. The shooter's dead. He was an American citizen. All these people are dead. That's all you need to know. No, bitch. 2 dead after shooting at Texas Elementary. This is an hour and 48 minutes ago. So this is probably when it was unfolding. So we may just have to do the math and figure out an approximate time. You know. 2 people are dead after a shooting at the elementary school. The hospital is treating 13 for various injuries, blah, blah, blah. 2 children were transported to San Antonio. Okay, we're not going to go that far back because that's was unfolding information. Aha, wait. A suspect is in custody following reports of an active shooter. When is this? This is an hour and 27 minutes ago. This is our aerial shot. So we see ambulances, but we don't see no stretchers. Wait, let me do this, y'all. You see, because you're supposed to just go, oh my God, there was a shooting, and then go out of your house saying, you know, it was a shooting, and all these people died. And no, the Jedi has spoken. And what I'm telling you is we don't have any evidence of anything at this point. Do you understand? Wait, let me get this, y'all, so I can blow it up. Wait, no. Again, we notice what's in front of us, everybody. The area is basically bare, at least from this photograph. The area is bare, and we don't have anything that corroborates the claim that they're making at all. Nothing. Nothing. We don't have it. We don't have it. We don't have it. I don't see a single gurney. And these ambulances are sitting there. They're sitting there. Looks like a couple of police cars, just to mark off, to cordon off the area. So this is from when? An hour and 30 minutes ago. Suspect in custody. So at that time, they were reporting that he was in custody. Following reports of an active shooter at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, according to a post from the Uvalde Police Department. So the police department is the ones who, at least at the time, was saying that the suspect is in custody. It's not like some bystander. This is the fucking police. You would know if you have somebody in custody or not. You see, these are all markers of untruth, because the truth doesn't change, everybody. The moment something changes, boom, it's not the truth. The truth is like water, it flows downhill. It does. It does. But the shooting was reported at 12:17 p.m. There we have our first time. But this, in the same little vignette, is the same people that are saying that the suspect was in custody. So that was a lie. And so, 12:17, we don't know if that's true either now. But we'll go with that right now, at least for just at least for a marker. So 12:17 p.m. Well, they said parents were called at 2 p.m. local time in the other article, saying they could pick up their kids. That's kind of a short window for a mass shooting, because you need to have accounted for all the kids that were present or not present at school. That would be a task in itself. Then they were transported to this, I forget the terminology they use, some center. That would have taken some time. And so I'm just not seeing how the kids are being picked up at 2 o'clock. I just don't see how it happens. That's less than 2 hours, actually. It's a little less than 2 hours. We'll see. Let me refresh this page. Because the story is shifting and moving, and maybe they know something else. You see, how many more children must lose their lives from senseless gun violence? Not how many more black people need to be killed by our white asses, senseless police brutality and murder and state-sanctioned murder. So that would suggest to me that these were not black kids. I'm going to make that proclamation now. These were not black kids. Damn it, I'm saying it affirmatively until I read something that disputes that. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, this is for the Houston mayor now, released a statement following the shooting. I'm calling it the alleged shooting. I am heartbroken and troubled to learn about today's tragic event at Robb Elementary School that took the lives of 14 innocent children and one teacher and left dozens of children injured. Dozens of children injured. So, what children were they picking up at 2 o'clock then, everybody? Dozens injured. That means they're all going to have to go to hospitals. So, how are they telling parents you can pick up your kids at 2? They're calling parents at 2 o'clock saying you can pick up your kids. The deepest condolences go to the families, teachers, and classmates, and blah, blah. We're not into condolences. She said, we don't care. How many more children must live? I'm over it. Chris Murphy delivers an emotional plea for action on Senate floor. No doubt it's about gun control. Democrat Chris Murphy delivered an emotional call on the floor following the school shooting. You see, because they're white kids. No passionate plea on the floor of the Senate when our people were murdered at Tops. You see, Murphy, who was reportedly pushed for legislative activists following the Sandy Hook Elementary School, because those were white kids, said this only happens in this country and nowhere else. He's absolutely right, because it's only white people that do this shit. It's only white people. It's only white people. And it's only white people who actually started a National Rifle Association. That's only white people. That's it. Nobody else. And they're the only ones who do this because they are the violent savages amongst humanity. This only happens in this country. This is a white man saying it. Nowhere else do little kids go to school thinking they might be shot that day. Right. Because they don't have to deal with white people. Do you understand? No school shootings in Africa. None. None. I don't care about this. I just wanted to prove that he was making a this about gun control. All right, so that's an update. Let's find another publication, everybody, because again, we still don't know when this allegedly happened. And if I can't find anything that's substantial, then we'll just move to the Andrew Abdullah thing and find out what's going on. Let's see. That CNN was where did CNN go? I just read CNN, NPR, ABC News. Okay, I guess it moved. Interesting. Wait. Okay, I see. Okay, well, there is. I was gonna say, I don't see no Washington Post, no New York Times, no New York Post, and any of this down here. It's just all local stuff. News 4, KSAT, CBS News, NBC News, but there's a New York Times there. USA Today, okay. That's 16 minutes ago. USA Today. Uh, I don't know who to click on, dude. I guess we'll go to USA Today. This is 16 minutes ago. We're just looking for a when did it happen and who told you. And show us any image of a gurney or a distraught parent or children running, something that expresses that something actually took place, because we don't have any evidence of that at this point. 14 students, okay, we already know that. A gunman killed 15 people, 14 of them children, blah, blah, blah. The 18-year-old shooter. But they're very clear about his name and picture, and they had his picture ready to go. You see, another sign of something, you see. And it'd be very easy to have an immigrant who, because, a lot of these white devils at the border, they get their jollies, because white people get their jollies off of murder. And so some of these border patrol agents are doing some of the most unthinkable things. So it'd be very easy to have a picture of a generic Latino man of any age and throw that out to the public and say, this was the dude. I cite for you, on 9/11/2001, they gave us the pictures of 19 hijackers. Then we began to learn that many of them were going on talk shows and saying, that's my picture, but clearly I'm still here alive. Like, that's not me. Like, I wasn't there. And then it got too hot for them. So then the FBI was like, well, we were never really sure about the identity of the hijackers. So that's not really important. And we just can't. You see, these are the same people who were giving us bin Laden, bin Laden, bin Laden, bin Laden, bin Laden. He's under your bed. He's in your closet. He's coming out of your house. But when you went to the FBI's website, of their most wanted, bin Laden was not on there for crimes of 9/11. But I thought he was so wanted. So this is the same devil. Do you understand? So it doesn't change with me. So you got to show me that this happened, or I call bullshit. It didn't happen. And at this point, it didn't happen. I don't know how many minutes we are in right now, because I'm obviously in production. But however far we in right now, whatever the timestamp is, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Um, he himself is deceased. It is believed that responding officers killed him. Believed. So you know who shot him? Because they said earlier he was taken into custody. Now, then he suddenly killed himself, or he's dead, but we don't know if he killed himself. I mean, but we still have a time that this happened and how they found out. It is the deadliest shooting at a U.S. grade school since the shocking attack in Sandy Hook. Wow. We still have no timeline of this. And we still have, oh wait, is this supposed to be some distressed person? At least 15 dead, multiple people injured, Texas school shooting. At least, okay, that's just the details. Who's this bitch in the picture? So they just tell you this, you see? This is the equivalent of them showing you the pictures and them talking. In this case, here's a photo, but no accompaniment underneath it. This don't tell us nothing. Right now, that's just a crisis actor. That's all the bitch is. Do you understand? This means nothing. Wait, where else? Look, looking at the camera, looking at the camera. These two are looking directly into the camera. And we don't know where this is or when it is. And look at the time of day it is where the sun is hitting them. They're facing west. If this is an afternoon picture, they're facing directly into the sun. Look at the shadows here, everybody. You understand? They're facing the sun. So, when is this taken? Who are these people? And why are these two looking directly into the camera? Aren't you busy with an evacuation or something? Why are you looking directly into the camera? Oh, here's what I was looking for. This structure back here. Wait, let's get our aerial shot again. Doesn't match any of this architecture. You see what I'm telling you? Where is this at? That's got some writing on it. Something auditorium. I got to get up close to it, y'all. Wait. Fuck. I don't know. I can't see it. I can't read it. I don't know. Law enforcement officer speaks with people outside Uvalde High School. Okay, this is the high school. After shooting was reported earlier in the day at the elementary school. Just a second. Let's go back because maybe those other two had information on them now. A woman cries as she leaves the Civic Center. That's where they claim they transported everybody to. Following a shooting earlier in the day at the elementary school, 24th May. A woman. What time is she leaving there? Because notice where the sun is. Notice where the sun is. On them, they're at the high school. She's at the Civic Center, allegedly. Notice where the sun is. Notice where the sun is. let's go on. They said this was the high school. So, law enforcement personnel walk outside the high school after shooting was reported earlier in the day at the elementary school. Now, this is at the elementary school. Gather gear outside the elementary school following a shooting Tuesday, 24th May. Okay. Stand next to the armored vehicle outside the elementary school following the shooting. I ain't seen no kids yet. Law enforcement personnel, including the FBI, gathered near the elementary school following the shooting. Again, we just see agents of the state. We don't see any civilians. Not at all. Just not seeing them. No civilians. Just agents of the state. Outside the elementary school. Everybody's outside the elementary school. Outside the elementary school. You see. That's like high noon-ish there. Because look where the sun is. It's overhead now. No long shadows. Just, it's kind of like right down on them. The people with guns walking. This means nothing. Again, we've not seen any evidence of a shooting, everybody. None. Just a bunch of people looking tough, agents of the state. Let me get a shot of you guys running. I can almost hear it. You need all this shit? All this? When is this? Wow. I should just call this enemy of a hoax. Because, like I say, we don't have any evidence of anything that they are claiming. They've proven absolutely nothing, shown us nothing. But you're supposed to go, it was a shooting. No, I haven't seen a shooting yet. Just haven't seen it. I'm still waiting to see it. Still waiting. Right now, we don't have it. We don't have it. We don't have it. Let's quickly see what we can find out about this Dullah person, everybody. And then we'll go back to that. But this is, let me refresh. Man wanted in random subway killing is in custody. Random. NYPD says suspect in fatal Q train shooting is in custody. That's 5 hours ago. We're going to know what this is 51 minutes ago from NBC New York. Unprovoked New York subway shooting. Oh, and here, look. Look, you see? No doubt. Now, you're seeing this in real time. Everything that we're seeing, I'm seeing it with you at the same time you're seeing it. So, this is definitely going to be somebody with a Zionist last name. Watch what I'm telling you. Watch. Watch. They're trying to, this is what you call dirtying the water, everybody. Dirtying the water. But I'm here to pour crystal clear Zemzem into it and tell you, don't be fooled by smoke screens. The people who are perpetrating violence upon humanity in this country and indeed across the earth are white people. The mass shooters in this bitch are white people. That's what it is. Period. Nothing changes that. Nothing changes that. Anything else is an anomaly and a staged event. Ah, damn it! I almost have to read this one right now, and then we'll go to the NBC New York. This is an hour ago. Suspect in unprovoked, which is a very interesting word to use because black people are provoked every fucking day. We're in a state of provocation. Should never use that word to describe us. There's always a reason for us to kirk off. But I'm suggesting this is not going to be true. In an unprovoked New York City subway shooting, arrested following fatal weekend attack. Andrew Abdullah, 25, surrendered to police on Tuesday. Interesting. This happens on Sunday. The shooting at the non-shooting at the school happens on Tuesday. And what did they say? He surrendered today, just happens to surrender on the same day as the shooting in Texas? Who believes that right now? Who thinks this is the truth now? Who believes this now? Who? Surrendered to police on Tuesday. 2 days after 46-year-old Danielle Enriquez. Okay. Interesting though. Daniel Enriquez. Enriquez is murdered by this dude. And then we have, what was the fucker? In the Texas shooting? What was his name, y'all? I forgot his name already. Because it's not real and they only used it one time. Damn it. They told us his name. Just whatever, but it was a Spanish name. I feel like it was Salvador. Now, who thinks this now? Of all people you could murder in New York, hold up. Who believes that we have a Spanish dude, we just call it Spanish right now. This dude is killed on Sunday by allegedly this dude who has great hair, by the way. But they wait until Tuesday that he surrenders on Tuesday because they're going to tell us that the subway cameras weren't working yet again, I'm sure. And we know they got facial recognition and everything in fucking New York, especially since 9/11. But they want us to believe he turned himself in on Tuesday. And at the same day that a Spanish dude goes up and shoots a white school. Because I'm sure those are going to end up being white kids. I just know it. I just know it. Who believes that? You see? They're putting it right out in the open. This is a scramble to try to make it seem like white people are not the problem, everybody, when it's exactly them. This is to put on the psyche of the minds of the people that, well, it's not just everybody does it. Nah. The terrorists in this fucking country are white people. That's it. That's it. Go to the FBI's website and look up what is the profile of a mass shooter. White male. But what did I say I wanted to come over here? Because I wanted to know, well, we're just going to find out now what this is because, you know, and then we'll go back and see if we can find any evidence that anything happened in Texas, and then we'll be over. And forgive if the air is bleeding into my sound now, y'all. I had to turn the air on. It's a sweatbox. So now, Andrew Abdullah, 25, surrendered to police on Tuesday, 2 days after 46-year-old Danielle Enriquez was fatally shot while riding a train to brunch. And I'm sure they're going to have video of that, especially after the botched, staged Frank James shooting where they claimed 3 cameras that would have caught everything were the only ones in the whole system that didn't work that day. I'm over it. This is Christine Pulisic. The man who shot a passenger in a random act of violence because that's what they're going to stress. They want you to think black people just shooting you now. It was just random. You see, everybody from Dylan Roof to the Peyton fucker in Buffalo, those are all troubled teens, and they, but no, this was random. Those guys had agendas, they had manifestos, they had it all. But this was random. And then look at the picture they give you of this dude. That's supposed to be Ray Ray. What they fail to understand, they always put a nigga like this up for white people. They don't understand is motherfuckers like me out here that look like me, but this is the image they give you. Just like they got you thinking most Muslims are Arabs when they make up a tiny fraction of the Islamic world. Arabs are not the face of Islam. Let us be very clear. In a random act of violence on New York City subway Sunday, is in custody. Police arrested Andrew Abdullah, 25, Tuesday in connection to the shooting death of 46-year-old Daniel Rodriguez. A Goldman Sachs, I know I was going to get something Zionist out of it. There it is. Goldman Sachs. There they are. There they are. There they are. A Goldman Sachs employee, police officials confirm. Does that look like Danielle Enriquez or Feinstein? We'll just move on. Excuse me. Enriquez was on the Q train near the Canal Street station when he was shot in the chest around 11:45. They give us time and everything, time and day, 11:45 a.m. He later died at the hospital. This was on Sunday, allegedly. Charges are pending. Why would they be pending? You would have charged him immediately as soon, because you already said, what did they say? Tuesday, Abdullah, fatally, blah, blah, blah. Man who allegedly was arrested in connection to shooting. Damn it. Something they said earlier. Anyways, charges are pending. But now, the Legal Aid Society, which is representing Abdullah, released a statement after he was taken into custody. Quote, he is presumed innocent and entitled to counsel and a robust defense, end quote. According to the statement, NBC News, NBC New York reported, quote, at this preliminary moment in the case, we caution New Yorkers from rushing to judgment as we are just beginning our investigation and reviewing evidence. Mr. Abdullah deserves vigorous representation from his defense counsel, and that is what the Legal Aid Society will provide, end quote. Who is the Legal Aid Society? Why have I never heard of them, and why would they be representing this dude? And so quickly, and speaking so affirmatively in this statement. I ask you this now. This is an anomaly. This is our second anomaly. Our third anomaly, actually, because our first anomaly is that he's black. Our second anomaly is that this is supposed to be a Latino. Our third anomaly is that he turned himself in. He surrendered. Our fourth anomaly is that this took place on Tuesday or on Sunday. He just turned himself into the same day as the shooting in Texas. Our fifth anomaly is this statement. I was telling you have anomalies, everybody. That's the stench and the footprint of conspiracy. Just even when I read this, charges are pending. Why would they still be pending? And then they throw this whole legal aid people at us that I never heard of. According to witness reports, comma. All right. The shooting happened, quote, without provocation, end quote. How do they know that? How do they know that? They don't. They don't know if there was a previous relationship between these two people. They'd have no clue of that. So it should have said, according to witness reports, the shooting happened seemingly, quote, without provocation. And they quoted that, quote, without provocation, as an affirmative statement. Those quotations make it an affirmative statement. Not like, because they knew they should have had seemingly or something like that. The fact that they put these quotations solidifies what I just said to you. Because why would that need to be in quotations? Quote, without provocation. As if it's the gospel law. It happened. They didn't know each other and this was totally random. No, you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't. The suspect had been walking back and forth in the subway car so that apparently that's suspect. You can't walk back and forth in a subway car, so don't do that. When he took out a gun and fired it at close range. As the train pulled into the station, the suspect fled. So nobody else fled. No description of people getting down and ducking down and fearing for their lives. No brandishing the gun at other people that were standing in the area. Enriquez, the victim, lived in Park Slope and was heading to brunch in Manhattan when the shooting occurred. How do you know he was on his way to brunch? Who said that? How do we know where he was going? How do we know that? When you just said very affirmatively that the shooting was without provocation. Very affirmatively and in quotations. So how do you know that he was on his way to brunch? You can't know that. Why didn't you put that in quotations? Quote, heading to brunch. End quote. Why isn't that in quotations? Why? He was heading to brunch in Manhattan when the shooting occurred. New York Times reported, period. The man had been avoiding the subway for most of the pandemic due to fear for his health, comma. His sister, Griselda Valle, said in an interview. Why didn't they quote her? Why didn't they say my brother had been avoiding the man, not the victim, the man, the man, the man. Language matters, everybody. Language matters, and I'm someone who deals in language, and so this is very, that's a problem for me. The man. It's not in quotations after a period. They just gave us his history of where he was coming from and what he was doing. He was going to brunch, period. The New York Times reported, period. Now, next after that, no quotation, the man had been avoiding the subway for most of the pandemic due to fear for his health, comma. His sister, comma, Griselda Valle said in an interview. No quotation. She wouldn't have said the man, she would have said my brother. It's horrific. Now, quote, it's horrific, comma. This is a horror movie. Valle, who's 43, a public school teacher. She happens to be a teacher. His murderer turns up on the same day as a school being shot up in Texas, and the sister of the victim just has to be a fucking school teacher? Come on, everybody. Don't play with me. Don't look me in the eye. Stop it. Valle, 43, a public school teacher, told the outlet. She described her brother as, quote, a special, jovial guy. This incident comes just weeks after a man opened fire on an N train on 12th April, injuring 16 people who we never saw and have no evidence of because the cameras weren't working at all. Who was also taken into custody like a day or two after. Same as this dude. So where is now the video of this happening on the train? Because I'm sure they got their act together for those damn cameras that didn't work on 12th April. I'm sure they got their act together before 24th May. Just sure of it. 100% positive. Put my whole wallet down on the table. What you got? Anyone with information, what? Because you're supposed to have a camera, bitch, is asked to call the NYPD Crime Stoppers hotline, and or for Spanish, you can call the other number, and you can submit a tip via the website. I'm over it. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. Interesting that his first name is Andrew, and that the last name is Abdullah. Because this dude don't look like nobody's Muslim at all. So either he's going to be an immigrant, because Nation of Islam people, they don't take the last name Abdullah. So how would he get this name Abdullah? How? They usually take you know, Muhammad, and there's a few other names. You really don't hear Abdullah from these Nation of Islam people all like that. Not all like that. Just not all like that. So it's just interesting to note, just for your education, that it'd be one thing if his name was Abdullah Jackson or Abdullah, Johnson or something like that, or Jenkins. But Andrew Abdullah is very interesting. Very interesting. And he's 25. So he's still got milk behind the ears. And so this wouldn't have been enough time for him to really sort of, yeah, there's a few things with that name. There's a few things with that. And we saw that they said he had a record. So we need to put one more thing on him. Just one more on this case. That was people. The other one that I said that looked interesting was, I wanted to do the New York, NBC New York, because it's New York. Man wanted a random subway killing, in custody, lawyers blast ambush, quote unquote, outside office. What does that mean? Oh, look, they're parading him through and all of it. Another heavy-set, dark-skinned black man, just like Frank James, everybody. Let's hear this report. I wish I was reading the BBC. I would do my British accent.
This is our first look at Andrew Abdullah in NYPD custody.
Wow, I can't believe she said the name right. What's this bitch name? This is our first look at Andrew Abdullah. Her name is Raina Novini. Novini. Is that Italian? Novini. Or is that Syrian? From what language is the name Novini? This is how we learn, everybody. This is how you educate yourself. You understand? I do these in real time so that you will go, well, this is how he does it. Let me do something like this or find my own way, you know. This is how you do dissertation. Novini. Search. Novini surnames. Russian. Novini name meaning and Novini family history, ancestry. Novini names encyclopedia. Novini. I'll just click on this first one. Novini. Surname. Wait now. It gets all cluttered now because you get into these. I can't. Now stuff is popping up. All right, look. The first thing I saw when I opened it says Novini Russian is held by more people in Iran. Haha. Than any other country. There it is. Iran. So she would know how to say Abdullah. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. You said I did that. SubhanAllah. Listen, everybody. Oh my God. Allahu Akbar. You see that? It's as soon as she opened up, she goes, well, let's just hear it.
This is our first look at Andrew Abdullah in...
Boom. Soon as I'm like, whoa, how does she know how to say that? Because that name is not an English name. Remember, it doesn't exist in English. Even the spelling. Where is it? The spelling is phonetic, just so that you can say it in English. That's it. That's just a phonetic spelling. This name exists in Arabic. That is a transliteration, a transliteral writing. I've explained to you what transliteration is. Go back and watch my video called The Miracle of the Number 19 in the Quran. Boom. You see? Knowledge converging, I always tell you, everybody. As soon as she said that, I'm like, how does this bitch know how to say Abdullah? And then I see her name, and I need to look it up. And what does it tell me? It's Russian, but, oh, damn it. My search just went away. So many lives to kill. But it says, is held by more people in Iran than any other country or territory. Boom. She's Iranian. She's Iranian.
In NYPD custody. Our cameras were there as he walked into the 5th precinct in
Look
handcuffs.
how he's looking around.
Abdullah was wanted
Look
for
how he's
shooting.
looking
This is
around.
our first look.
Wait, let's expand this so you can really get the good look at this.
Look at Andrew Abdullah in NYPD custody. Our cameras were there as he walked into the 5th precinct in handcuffs. Abdullah was wanted for shooting and killing a stranger on a Q train more than 48 hours ago. And News 4's Mark Santia is live in Chinatown with more on what went down this afternoon. Mark.
And Rana, Abdullah had nothing to say as he was led into the precinct. We're told he is expected to face charges tonight.
What's his name?
48 hours ago. And News 4's Mark Santia is live in Chinatown with more on what went down this afternoon. Mark.
And Rana, Abdullah had nothing to say as he was led into the precinct. We're told he is expected to face charges tonight. A citywide manhunt for the suspected Q-train shooter is over. Andrew Abdullah in custody at the NYPD's 5th precinct in Chinatown. Police say on Sunday, Abdullah pulled a gun on the Q-train as it approached the Canal Street subway station. He fired, killing 48-year-old Daniel Enriquez in what police call an unprovoked attack. Once the train stopped, law enforcement sources say Abdullah walked up the station stairs and handed the gun to a homeless man, a person he did not know. We found that man today, back at the subway station. He asked we not use his name.
Did he say anything to you or nothing?
Nothing. You driving?
Wait, a homeless guy? We're to believe that? We're going to say he gave the gun to you. Because this is a New York subway. Look at the cars that are parked in the background there. You want me to believe the NYPD wouldn't run his black ass away from there holding his cup and begging? Notice what's in front of you, everybody. Notice what's in front of you. See this sequence
the
now.
station stairs
Look.
And handed the gun to a homeless man,
Look,
a person
look, wait.
he did not know.
Remember, this guy works
We
for
found
Goldman
that man
Sachs.
today, back at the subway station.
Look,
he asked.
There he is. And no problem him standing out there. No problem. And he's still there 48 hours later. So nobody ran him away. So he can just be held up there, just chilling? I doubt it.
We not use his name.
He asked we not use his name.
Did he?
Why not? You're a homeless guy. Why wouldn't you want your name used? Unless you're part of it. But look at the cars that are parked there. Look. You see, this ain't the hood. This is not the hood.
Say anything to you or nothing?
Nothing. You driving, put a gun right there, boom. Next minute, he took off.
Instead of giving him money, he says Abdullah. He asked we not use his name.
Wait,
and
I
today,
can't see his
back
shoes
at the
because of this fucking all this signage they got in front of it.
We found that man today.
I want to see the quality of his shoes.
Back at the subway station, he asked we not use his name.
Did he say anything to you or nothing?
Nothing. You driving, put a gun right there, boom. Next minute, he took off.
Instead of giving him money, he says Abdullah dumped the gun.
All of a sudden, he put his hand inside his jacket, lift up. Yo, hold the cover, Lift up and put a gun right there.
Right in your cup, he put it.
Right inside the cup. I'm scared.
The man tells us he panicked, wrapped the gun in a jacket, and took off until his friend told him about the Q train shooting.
So, okay, go on.
Shaw, shoes. I know what I got to do.
They turned the gun over to police. Tonight, Abdullah is now in custody. The Legal Aid Society, who's representing Abdullah, not happy with how the arrest happened today, saying he was ambushed by marshals outside his attorney's office as attorneys were actively negotiating his surrender. They also caution New Yorkers not to rush to judgment. We're live in Chinatown. I'm Mark Santia, News 4.
Okay, that's the report. Now, let us read. But there's issues with that video. The homeless guy is a problem. It's too convenient that he puts the weapon into the cup. That means your prints won't be on the gun. Did they recover the gun then now? You know, he said he took his jacket and the gun and ran. So where's the gun? Where's the gun? Hopefully they're going to tell us that. Man suspected of opening fire on a subway rider at random, killing him as the train moved over the Manhattan Bridge in what officials described as a harrowing, unprovoked act of violence, is in custody. After some confusion regarding a potential surrender, well, they only told us about the Legal Aid Society at the very end of that report. And like the last seconds of it, they don't mention it here after some confusion with who? Regarding a potential surrender that may not have happened as planned, that didn't happen as planned according to that, law enforcement sources say. News 4 was at the scene when Andrew Abdullah arrived at the 5th Precinct Tuesday afternoon, a little more than 48 hours after the deadly weekend shooting on the Q train. Is this just a transcript of what we just heard? Arrested later in the day. Law enforcement initially said a clergy member had arranged Abdullah's surrender, but then he apparently failed to show up. He was arrested as he walked towards his attorney's office in Lower Manhattan and taken to the precinct in handcuffs. The sources said U.S. Marshals were spotted in the area at the time. Is that what we just saw? No, we need to see this now. How much more of this? How long is this? This is pretty extensive. Wait. We'll just go as long as they're talking about this case, because I can't.
Here you go.
Apparently, this is the arrival now of him in custody. I guess. So, if he could, are they taking him out on the street side? You could have taken him out on the sidewalk side. They got to take him out on the damn street side. How dumb was that? Listen, we can also tell by his hair, as African people, some things they will never know. Did you see his hair? This is important.
You want to say for yourself?
Look at his hair. That's your girl is braiding your hair and she didn't finish. That's new braids or new whatever style that is. I don't know if that's locks or or what do you call those? I don't know what the fuck you call it. Anyways, you feel me? That's recent, which would tell us something about time. You know what I mean? Because you got to sit down and have that done. That doesn't just appear on your head. You know, you don't go to the barber and get that done in 5 minutes and shit. You feel me? Like just. But anyways, the marshals were spotted in the area. Okay, fine. No charges were immediately specified. Abdullah is being transported by the Legal Aid Society, which released a blistering statement shortly after his apprehension. Before Andrew Abdullah could voluntarily surrender himself to the local precinct, he was needlessly ambushed out front of our Manhattan trial office by law enforcement. Denied of his opportunity to first consult with counsel, legal aid said, quote, since last night, we have been actively speaking with the New York Police Department and the New York County District Attorney's Office to negotiate his surrender. And what transpired today was completely inappropriate and unwarranted given those conversations, you see? Because white people don't keep their word. I cite for you. Go talk to the natives. Do you understand? Talk about the 400 treaties that they had with them and broke every single one of them. You understand? This is not a people that keep their word. Quote, we have been assigned to represent Mr. Abdullah on this case. He is presumed innocent and entitled to counsel, blah, blah, blah. We read that earlier. He had been wanted on a murder charge in the Sunday killing of 48-year-old Daniel Enriquez, a Goldman Sachs employee, gunned down on his way to brunch. They're going to stick with that. Multiple law enforcement sources say Abdullah has 11 prior arrests and an open gun case in Harlem. So what? That means nothing. They said it appeared cops had probable cause to arrest him for the murder. Nah. Tuesday's developments come after about 48 hours after the cold-blooded murder on the Q train. The NYPD has put out wanted posters for Abdullah across the city. So you put out wanted posters. How did you know to put out wanted posters of him? Unless you've got camera footage and facial recognition. Otherwise, there's no way you could know who this is. How would you have had wanted posters out? Or unless The whole reason why this legal aid office is jumping up and down and screaming so much is because maybe he's being framed. You know, their entrance into this is also very, I name that as one of my anomalies. Tuesday development comes, 40, okay, after, they put out wanted posters for Abdullah across the city. So, this is the wanted poster. Do you know where Andrew Abdullah is? He's wanted for shooting a fellow New Yorker in the chest Sunday. And it, blah, 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 there's a phone number. So, how did you have this picture of him? Well, they said he was arrested 11 other times. Okay, that could be any booking photo. I'll give you that. But how did you tie him to this shooting? That's not been revealed for us. Also, notice his hair in this too, because what I just pointed out when they were taking him into the precinct, that proves what I just said about the precinct video. Because this is some shit that's been in there forever, and you need a sister to get up there and do something. You feel me? But that he just went to the precinct was like mid, we're doing your hair type thing. Police sources have said that the suspect was seen handing the alleged murder weapon off to a homeless man outside the subway station as he fled. Cops questioned the man, who said he didn't know the shooter and was randomly handed the gun. And then aren't you going to tell us then you got the gun from him? That you gave it, that the police got it? Witnesses told the police the suspect paced back and forth in the train's last car before taking out the gun and opening fire. And then there's that quotation again from a different publication, quote, without provocations, you see? Two different publications putting that in quotations. On the northbound Q train as it passed over the bridge 11:45 a.m. Enriquez was shot at close range. He was found wounded in the torso and pronounced dead at the hospital. There had been no prior contact between the two men, police say, witnesses told them. Well, these witnesses never saw these two fuckers before either. So they don't know the history of either one of them. So there's no contact between these ever. They never knew each other. You don't know that. And quite frankly, a lot of these Goldman Sachs people and people like, lobbyists and stuff to be up on Capitol Hill and people like that, a lot of them play with boys. You understand? They like to play with other men. So you don't know. You don't know. I could imagine a million reasons why they would know each other or have had seen each other. This guy could have just given him a dirty look on the subway. They don't even know that. They got all this. He was pacing back and forth, and it was unprovoked. But you don't know if this dude gave him a dirty look, tried to come on to him, threatened him. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. Latest subway killing rattles New York City. Enriquez, a guitar player who spoke multiple languages, lived in South John's Place, and worked for Goldman Sachs in its research division. The company described him as a, quote, dedicated and beloved, end quote, colleague. Quote, we are devastated by this senseless tragedy, and our deepest sympathies are with Dan's family at this difficult time, end quote, Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon said in a statement. Just for your information, everybody, the third building that went down in New York on 9/11, Building 7, World Trade Center 7, was about a football field and a half away from the Twin Towers, was not hit by a plane, yet at 3 or 5:30 in the afternoon went down into its own footprint in 6 seconds. It was a 47-story steel reinforced modern building. They claim it was fire. Why I mention it is because it was the Solomon Brothers building. That was its official name. And so, interesting that this is David Solomon. You see, you're not saying it's the same Solomon because there's a lot of Zionists with that name, but whatever, just for your education. Enriquez lived in Park Slope for 18 years with his partner, Adam Pollock. Well, there it is. What did I insinuate earlier when they said that he and Abdullah didn't know each other? I was just throwing out scenarios, and I said, these Goldman Sachs types and people like that, and I named people up on Capitol Hill in D.C. A lot of them like to play with boys. And I said maybe he hit on him or something. Maybe he gave him a dirty look. But here it is. He lived in Park Slope for 18 years with his partner, Adam Pollock. So he may have looked at this brother, you feel me, or came on to him in some kind of way. Who told the Daily Mail Enriquez never took the train, but wanted to avoid surging rideshare prices. Surging rideshare prices. Really? Because you work for freaking Goldman Sachs, you can afford a rideshare. Damn it. I don't know why I didn't fight him on that. I just didn't want to fight with him. Pollock told the Daily Mail. Sunday's random shooting marked the latest in a series of such violent attacks, and New Yorkers are more than on edge. Yeah, I'm not going to read this because I don't need it. Because we've already finished the story about this incident, and they're just going to start stacking a lot of other stuff to try and give you a bunch of black people doing stuff. That's what they're trying to do. That's all that is. And as I pointed out in my Frank James piece, the staged subway shooter, one of their motives that I think are proved in that piece was they want more funding. And also the mayor, the black fucker, wants more security detail so he can look more important and presidential and shit. So I'm over it. Let's see what we can find out. If we can find out now, what time did this non-shooting happen at this school in Texas? They've not given us a timeline. You see, at least in this, you saw it had the natural order of things. You see, I still don't believe it, but and there's many problems with it, many anomalies, and its timing is highly suspect. But the fact of the matter is they gave us a time at which it happened and all of that. The players involved, we have a picture of the victim and all of that. But in this damn school shooting, we got nothing. Well, let's see who else is reporting. Let me refresh. We'll just go to the next page and see if we can find something. Oh, there's nothing on the second page, dude. Nothing. So we'll go back to page 1. All right, New York Times, 11 minutes ago. That should be the most up-to-date thing. What the hell? They want money, dude. Nobody's gonna subscribe to your shit. Nobody. People aren't that pressed. We'll just move to another publication. Wait, are these supposed to be victims on the ground? Guess not. No pictures here. Look at this bullshit. NBA releases statement on school shooting ahead of Game 4 on the Western Conference Finals. Where is it happening? Oh, in Texas. Wait, oh no. Our thoughts. NBA statement comes just hours. Tip-off Game 4 between Dallas Mavericks, okay, and the Golden State Warriors. All right, I was about to say, why do they need to make a damn statement? I mean, you know, like, what is that? It's still some bullshit, but at least I understand it. I mean, I know the reason why. It's still some bullshit, though. Yeah, I'm over it, man. I really don't have to do another piece on this, but I will if that information becomes available. Like I said, right now we don't have it. When did this take place? When did it take place? And where are the victims? Because I ain't seen no distraught parents. I've not seen any other students proclaiming we saw this happened. Just anything that you would expect, man. This is just somebody telling you this happened, and then they start giving you a bunch of drama. No, show me some evidence. You know, like proof of life type thing. You know, the aerial shots, we didn't see a single gurney, no gurneys with anybody on it. Not even just somebody just being, you know, given oxygen. They weren't injured, but they were just worked up. You know, none of that. We no statements from it, just nothing. We don't have nothing but them just proclaiming that all these people were killed at this damn school. It's Sandy Hook all over again for me right now, everybody. And I proclaim at this time that it didn't happen until I get something else. Let's see. This is 3 hours ago. No need to read that. The CNN thing didn't have anything on their page. Where to saw this bitch leaving the Civic Center? I've declared her a crisis actor. They didn't tell her name. Why is she leaving the Civic Center? You know, the timeline doesn't line up as to, you know, that there would even be anybody at the Civic Center. You know, plus you don't just move bodies within 2 hours. The people are going to come in and investigate. They've got to move those bodies at some point if there's people really murdered. You know. But then plus you have so many of them that were allegedly transferred to hospitals. That's a lot of triaging that has to go on. But yet we saw nothing on the front lawn of this damn school. Not a single gurney doing anything. This is drama, everybody. It's drama. And the Andrew Abdullah thing is suspect at the very least at this point. So I'm going to leave this here. Your thoughts. This is the Jedi.